expectations.
Yes, do you expect everything from your partner?
Or do you expect nothing? What is a realistic,
What is a realistic expectation?
Yeah, realistic.
Or is even having an expectation a good thing or not?
Yeah, or should we just not really expect anything and just welcome that
Whatever
that comes?
Yeah. So
That's what we're going to be chatting about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
Violetta
and Yutka.
Zugo.
Yeah.
Right. What do you expect? Do you think it's realistic to expect nothing from your partner? It seems like really...
I think if you expect nothing, you are you have no self-worth, because at least you want to expect some respect and some courteous. You expect them to be kind and honest. At least those are my expectations I have, and I would hope that any other person that has
I think I would expect them to be, that's what I'd always be looking for. Yeah, the minimum, kind.
Yes. The minimum is that for them to be kind and
generous.
Generous, that's a plus.
That's for me, that's a plus.
For me too, yes.
Loving,
gentle, caring, passionate, all of it really. Empathetic, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's not always... You see, the thing is here, what we're really truly going to be actually talking about is the fact that a lot of people nowadays, I think they do expect their partners to be like their full-on besties, best friends,
confidants,
the lovers. They expect everything of that person. And that can be a bit too much.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to be doing here today is actually unraveling.
Breaking down.
Yes, breaking down what are realistic expectations from your loved ones, from the person you choose to be with at this moment in time in your life.
Yeah, because you think that stops people getting together with people as well, because they expect too much from that one person, and that one person's not ticking all the boxes. So
exactly.
Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm beginning to think. It is a little bit like that, and many times.
I think that's why many people as well, we because we're so hard, I think people are more hard on themselves now because they've got more time to think about things, whereas before maybe it was just the everyday was so difficult.
Maybe
per
you're
se,
right, yes.
That you had to always you had to get up, you had to go to work, you had to come home, you had to look after your family or whatever, and you had to make sure your finances were okay. But now we have more leisure time, we have more time to think about things. And I think that's also causing a lot of anxiety and grief in people, and thinking, people are just expecting too much.
Maybe just overthinking it. Yes,
overthinking stuff.
Yeah, overthinking things. It can cause a lot of anxiety because people are who they are. Yeah. You might be with somebody that does have his or her limits. And they're not always empathetic, and they're not always the kindest, and they're not always ready to listen to your every achievement and yay, well done. Sometimes they're just tired and they can't be bothered, and they're just
they're in their own heads.
They're in their own heads a lot. And what is it, I think that's something, that we really all have to think about, and something that we as therapists, but also as people who have been in long-term relationships, we have the experience to know that, when we're talking about getting real, this is what reality is like. They're not always like that. I have been together with my husband now for 39 years. And you too, you've been with him but for so long, and we know that what relationships are like. We know they can be There can be many
Well,
moments.
I think you
when
grow together, don't you? In a successful relationships, you grow together, you grow to understand each other, you grow to
Yes.
respect each other. I think
Yes.
respect is very important, and putting yourself in their shoes and vice versa. We hope they put themselves in your shoes as well.
Yes. Yeah,
But-
you do, but it's not always like that.
No.
I mean, in my own personal relationship, many times throughout my life, I've thought, God, I wish he was more empathetic. Or why can't he say the right things? You know, now the right thing to say to me now is okay, and or just give me a hug. Just understand
They
that I
just
need a
don't
hug.
know, though,
But
do
he just
they?
doesn't know. So now I've come to learn. I say, look, in this circumstance, I mean, I just said that to him last night. I said, in
need
this
a hug.
circumstance, I just need you to say, okay, everything's going to be okay. And then he said to me, how do I know if everything's going to be okay? I go, I know, but I just want you to say that to me and just be like protective and just give me a hug because that's what I need tonight. But I just had to tell him, and then he did it, and I did. It
makes you feel better, doesn't
yeah,
it?
but one thinks, you think, do I have to tell them? Do I have to spell it out?
You do have to spell it out sometimes.
Sometimes you do.
Because they just don't get it.
They don't get it. They're really not in your head. And they're
And they
like,
don't understand either.
no.
And people deal with things differently as well. Maybe, your husband was dealing with it in his own way, and he didn't need a hug. He wanted to watch TV to calm down.
Just to get over it, whatever. Yeah, you're right.
People deal with things differently. So obviously, if you're the kind of person that needs the other person to be with you, because a lot of people, like when they're going through stuff, they'll just not think about the stuff and just go to work
completely
deal with it
avoid
completely
it.
different.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes you don't want that. You want your partner to be there with you and just give you a hug or talk to you, talk it through. Where some people, for them, talking things through is absolute torture.
Yeah,
And
we know that.
They don't
can
like
be
it, and
torture.
they think, no, I don't even want to go there.
So what do you do if you're with somebody that thinks it's torture?
Well, you have to understand them, I think, and understand that for them it is torture.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's not like they've got something against you in particular, or that they're not empathetic towards you, but for them it's just too much. So maybe, like in this case where you asked your husband for a hug, if he gave you a hug and you felt better, but if you had also wanted him to talk with you like your best friend or like me for 2 hours about it, he wouldn't have been able to do that because for him that was too much.
No, he was literally looking at his phone, just trying to avoid the entire thing.
So if you had got really offended because you wanted him to be your best friend and confidant,
I would have got upset about it.
You would have got really upset. Whereas you
in the past, I probably would have.
You understood his limits and you understand how he is, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't love you or is not, a good person.
No,
it just means that you can't expect everything from one person, from your partner.
I know. That's exactly the point.
I
knew that today I'd come and ramble on to you about it. And so it's okay. Yeah. So what we're trying to say is that you need different people in your life. Yeah. You can't rely and expect your partner to be just like your absolute best friend and be the all it. You need to have like a whole range of people to talk to, including therapists perhaps sometimes, but also just other people that that like this person I can talk to that about, that person I do that with, or and that's like the best thing, I think, to have like a circle around you, a community, more like perhaps what you were saying we would have in the past.
Exactly, we would have in the past. But what we had in the past wasn't ideal either.
No,
so
it wasn't.
We have to look for new ways of creating community, but not expecting everything from one person. Because I think modern love has kind of gone towards that way where we do expect our partners, our husbands, our lovers, whatever, to be the one person, just one person
all
for
the
everything.
time, super romantic.
And it's too much.
Everything, it's just too much. And the reality is not like that. That is not the reality.
And I think we have to keep a little bit of distance as well with our partners, because that's what makes us attracted to each other. If we're with one person for 24% of the time, 24 hours on 24, we're not going to have that like frizz or like, oh, I haven't seen you today. What are you going to tell me?
Yeah.
You know, we kind of get sick of each other if we're with one person all the time, and we kind of
Well, what if we are because we work
lose
with that
respect. Well,
person?
it's very difficult when you work together.
So you have to take your own
You have
space.
to
If you
take
do
your
work
own
together,
time.
I suggest that afterwards, like you go to gym,
Or you
different
divide
gyms,
your
or
roles. You
yeah.
divide. That's why when you know, when we were all confined in the pandemic years ago, we had to put so many people left each other. There was
Yeah,
some, you know,
yeah,
divorce
tragic,
cases
yeah.
went up.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
people just couldn't stand being with each other all that time. And
Yeah.
expecting so much for each other, because we expect our partners to be able to vent to our partners about even just like how we look. Maybe we're not satisfied with how we look, but then we expect them the next minute to be like super attracted to us, and
Exactly.
oh,
That's a good point.
yeah, oh,
yeah.
you're super sexy or whatever.
After you've just been
and
highlighting.
after you've been highlighting maybe all the things that you think are defective about yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah,
you've
that's
been
very
moaning
common.
about, like, I don't know, whatever you've been moaning.
I think the best thing, you know, is you know, not to do those things with your partner at all, and maintain like a little bit about how you used to be. That's
how
my
when you
take.
first met.
Yes, I would never go, and like when we would go on dates, I would never go and say, "Oh, look how horrible this is," or "I've got this spot here or here." I just would keep quiet and just maybe moan to you about it. Yeah. Oh, my hair looks horrible today.
But we expect to be able to tell our partners that, because
yes.
that's a real relationship, when you can find everything in your partners.
Exactly.
And that's what's considered a real relationship now. But yes, it's real. But, you know, how much do we want reality? How much do we also like the dream, the fantasy, the idea?
You want them to be highly attracted to you as well. And you want it all, don't you? So you've got to think about that before, you know, splurting out all what you think are your no goodies, you know, your things.
Yeah, because your partner probably hasn't even noticed those things in you in the first place. And so you're just ranting on about your own things that you might find your own weaknesses or your own flaws, which they haven't even seen.
No, they have not seen, because they're attracted to you. So
exactly.
You don't put them off.
No, yeah, exactly.
And then you're putting them off, and then you're like, people on a date, you know, they would never advise you to go and tell them everything that you don't like about yourself. Normally you talk, and it's a lovely conversation between both of you, and you're normally you're at your best self, because you're also you're happy, you're quite funny, aren't you?
Charismatic.
Exactly.
Charming.
You're charming. So you want to maintain, you know, some of that charm and
charisma.
Yeah.
And you also want it to be real, because of course you're going to have your the days when you're sick and you're not well and you're not looking at your best, or when you go through childbirth or whatever you go through, operations, sickness, everything we all go through. We're never going to be, you know, we're not saying you have to be like, you know, like the Stepford Wives or whatever on that.
Oh my gosh,
that film.
No
that
way.
would be horrific. You have to be real with your partner, but I think there's real and real.
One thing is being real and just being, I feel bad today because I'm, and just showing your true self, no makeup, whatever, you know, just no, whatever, no filters.
Pajama day.
Yeah, pajama, and that's great. That's you know, that's fine. But another thing is actually picking yourself to bits. This is what we're saying here. One thing is showing your true self and what you really like.
That's normal. You have to be. That's what's lovely about being in a relationship as well.
Yeah, that is lovely.
That's a comforting thing.
That's a comforting that they can see you like what you say, whatever you look like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And they still love you for it. That's that kind of unconditional love that you get that makes you feel so reassured.
Yes.
Because they, you know,
safe.
And safe, yes, because you feel, I don't always have to be like, you know, always on show here, putting my mask on. I'm my real self. They see me when I laugh, when I'm just quiet, when I don't talk, when I cry, when I have a shower, whatever. But then it's when it's that's different to, you pulling yourself apart, and, like,
I think you've hit it on the nail there. It's pulling yourself apart.
Yeah. It's that self-deprecating thing
and maybe you can do that with your best friend, because your best friend will just say, oh, well, never mind, look, I've got it too.
Yeah.
But you don't expect your best friend the next minute, to be in bed with you and making love to you. So it's a different thing, isn't it?
It's a different thing. Your best friend is not going to be your sexual partner. No. Well, unless they are, but that's a different case. That's a different case. And maybe...
And then if they were, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that either.
I don't know.
To bits. I don't know.
No, exactly. Yes. Because it's not, no matter what people say, it's not a turn on.
No.
It's not. I would not like it if my husband comes around to say, oh, look, I put on 5 kilos here and I feel really fat, or I feel old, or I feel that, oh, come on, I don't really want to hear that.
No.
And it's okay if he says it sometimes. He might say, oh, I want to work on this.
That's
I've got to lose that. But it's not like saying, oh, I'm in a terrible state, aren't I? Look at me. No, because then those words, whether you want to or not, stick with you.
Unfortunately, I think men are more used to hearing that from women. And, women aren't as used to, because
men seem to be more confident.
They seem to be on the surface. They're probably not in the end.
No, they're not.
But
we know they're
not as chatty as we are.
According to some some are very chatty, but yes, they're not. I think it's not that they're not as chatty. They're not so used to this self-deprecation that we're, a lot of women are used to, and this constant high, perfection that if they're, it's
demanded from.
Exactly, from women, and women feel it more, perhaps, like what you were saying.
Yeah. So that's... And I think...
Watch out for that.
Watch out for that. And obviously, it's really good that if your partner is your best friend as well. But if they're your partner as well.
You've always said, like, your husband's your best friend. Yeah.
But I think he used to be more than now.
Really?
Yeah. When I first met him. Now I wouldn't really consider him my best friend anymore. I mean, he's my best friend, but it's like what you say. We don't. Well, there's certain things you keep. I think to have such a relationship that goes on for so long, you have to keep some of the
so I would be your best friend, and
you have to keep some of the flirtiness, some of the I'm not going to reveal every single thing to you, because otherwise what mystery is there? There's nothing. I mean, if we have to be with someone and be faithful to them for so many years and still be really attracted to them, I think we have to keep. I think that's what makes a relationship work, personally. But obviously everybody's different. But for me, it's like, I would definitely not confide in my husband in the same way as I confide with you.
No, I wouldn't either.
No,
but I mean, for a start, he's not even interested. And
well,
I can see,
because of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can see he just literally would just look at his phone or just, be reading the sports or something. And so he's just not interested. And so I know that, and I'm not going to get more than that off him.
No, because like before, when we first met, I would expect him to go round the shops with me and look at things. But now I suppose I've matured and I've grown up, and I know he's not interested in that. Yeah. And why am I going to put him through that, poor thing? I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, it's true. When you first start off, you do expect more things like that. They do, I remember doing things like that, taking him shopping and expecting
But your husband still expects you to go around with him in the shops.
He still wants that. Gosh, he's very demanding about that. Yeah, when we go shopping, it's all about him. Looking, I mean, I don't know, because this is an Italian man thing, but it's all about looking. He goes straight to the men's shop. He's so interested in it. In the end, I see something and he's just like, oh, hang on a minute, let's go into that shop. So I just know when I go shopping with him, it's basically all about him. So I just leave him and say, okay, this is like, when we go shopping together, it's about you. And when we go shopping, me and Violetta, then I know I'll buy my stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I ask him, do you like this? He says he likes absolutely everything. So he's not much, he's not helpful. Yeah, I say, do you like this? And if anything, he just says like he just wants to go to lingerie shops and things like that. I mean, it's like a joke. I go, okay, we'll go to that shop. But then I say, look, what do you think? Look, help me out here. It looks great. Oh, that looks amazing. That looks great. That looked great. It's all great. So, say Bella, he says. So, I mean, what nice. Can I? Yeah, I can't. You know, I'm happy with that.
Yes.
I'm happy with that image that he has of me, and I see it. I see myself in his eyes, and it makes me feel good.
Of course.
So, you know, I cannot expect anything else. I do not expect anything else. I know what I'm going to get from him, more or less. Sometimes I would like more empathy. I'm trying to teach him, like what I said last night. Still, after 39 years, I'm still trying to, you know, but this is the evolution. I do not think it's finished.
It's not static, is it?
No, we've changed so much throughout the years. I have taught him so much, and he has taught me a lot about being, you know, maybe strong and resilient and stubborn. And so, yeah, we do teach each other things, and we do grow.
We grow, don't
we? We grow a lot, and you've grown with your husband as well. I mean,
of course.
In this particular case, this is what we have as reference.
We do have that as reference. So I do think that there's just too many expectations placed on one person today in today's modern love.
It's just too much, and we know this because we've read about it.
People
and
get bored as well.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they get bored as well. I never thought about that. So they get bored because they expect too much.
Yeah, they get bored. They expect too much, and then afterwards they start like putting their partners down because they don't feel as if they're getting enough from them. But really, it's the opposite way round. Is that you're demanding too much from them.
Yeah, it's like if you're going on holiday and you're expecting that holiday to be like 5-star. You're expecting to have the best time of your life and always be super entertained, and the seawater, if you're going to the beach, to be the clearest of clear, everything to be perfect. And when you go, you have this expectation. It's so high that any tiny thing you're going to notice it, aren't you? You say, well, I was a bit bored today, or oh no, there is some seaweed, there is some algae there. I mean, that's natural for them to be some algae. You know, oh, there's a few pebbles on that beach, didn't quite like it. Oh, the service in this bar's not that great. Well,
you're always picking fault.
You're looking for things afterwards because your expectations were so high and you expected to have such fun. So when you go into a relationship, keep your expectations at a decent level, you know, of self-worth, and you're expecting, like you do expect when you go on a holiday, to have a clean room and everything to be lovely. Why not?
Yes, I mean, yeah, you're like what you say, you keep them at
a good level of high standard, because you deserve high standard.
You don't be in relationships that way where you can really obviously see that your partner really does not care about you.
They're not treating you, you know, you want to be treated the way
puts you down.
Oh, goodness me, no. But then, you know, let's allow for a few.
Let's allow for more in our lives, so more friendships and more people that to support us in different ways.
Exactly, that's it. That really is it.
What are your thoughts? Have you been in long-term relationships? Are you looking for a partner? Maybe this will make you think about, you know, how you're going about looking for a partner and what you're expecting from them, because when we first meet people we don't really know anything about them, do we?
No.
So it's a clean slate. So let us know what you think, and please do come and say hi on Instagram. Our podcast is also on YouTube, and you can get the video version on YouTube as well as the original podcast version, so you've got both of them. So come and say hi.
Come and say
hi,
we
love and appreciate all the support you give us. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Lots of love from the
English Sisters.
Bye.